Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. This is Jennifer. We are outside on a humid, gloomy morning because I have a couple of finishes to share. These look way more impressive than probably they really are. I had several panels, fandom themed panels that Jeanie had sent me, Incredible Hulk, Black Panther, and I still have a Star Wars panel. I wanted to test out my frame setup with the dead bar that I showed you guys last week, and so I did the Incredible Hulk first, just as a test to see how it would load and to see how it would work. And the good news is it works really well. I do have to physically adjust the bar after I set the quilt up because it isn't quite heavy enough to hold it in place just by itself. So when I roll it, I just push the bar back and it holds it. It'll stay if I put it there. It just doesn't stay when I roll it. So that's great. I'm really happy about that. After I finished the Hulk, I realized at the end I was having some tension issues. So I played with my machine, I cleaned it, I adjusted the bobbin, I did all the things you're supposed to do. And then I loaded the Black Panther panel. I wanted to really test the tension and figure out what's going on with my machine. So I was going slower and checking my tension constantly because my tension on the back wasn't as good as it should be. I just went crazy on this. Anything that made sense is what I quilted on there. So it's got zigzags and meanders and squares, and I did outlining of the characters. I had a good time on it. However, I had to stop constantly to adjust my tension on my bobbin case, and what I figured out by the end is my bobbin case, I think it's just worn out. It's just, I took it apart, put it back together again, cleaned it, and the spring is just not holding tension. So I've ordered a new bobbin case. I haven't tested it yet, but I still have one more panel, so I'm thinking that's what I will test the bobbin case and the tension on will be the Star Wars panel. These will go to the Linus connection as donations. They are a good size for an elementary school kiddo. This is just the panel. I did not put any borders on. I did try to use fun bindings that went with it, and the backs are really fun too. I'll make sure and show you guys that. That was my big quilty thing for the week. I was just trying to get the tension done on that. I had a lot of Linus stuff to do last week because we did have a meeting on Saturday. For many years now, I have organized the silent auction for the Linus Connection. It is one of our biggest fundraisers, and we have not had one fundraiser or a silent auction since 2019. For obvious reasons, because we did not have meetings in 2020. So I have 2 years worth of silent auction stuff, and I have the great good luck to have wonderful fellow volunteers who are willing to help me this year. I've always done it by myself. I've always done it just over the course of a couple of weeks in my own house. I've had friends help me from time to time, but for the most part I've done it by myself and then recruited people to help me get all the baskets and things to the silent auction. This year I have help. So last week I drove a whole load of stuff out to Thorndale, which is about 45 minutes or so from my house. It's a great lady that I know from Linus, Sarah Spence. She's a professional long arm quilter, and she has quilted a few things for me, including my favorite things, my quilt that hangs on the wall behind my quilt frame, the one with all of the sewing and craft supplies on it. Anyway, so I took stuff out to her place. She has very generously offered to share her space for building baskets, and she's recruited volunteers. So we will have 6 people, including myself, building baskets this year. That's where my headspace has been for the most part. I'm trying to shift the way I do things so that I can get it organized to have other people participate, because all of this information has been in my own head and not stuff that I've shared before. So I'm making sure that it will work with a group and not just for me. So I'm very excited about that. I have not done any more crocheting. I will get back to that. What I have been doing on my own behalf is I have been thinking ahead to when I'm back in my sewing room. It's going to be about 6 weeks from now. I am going to do, I've had the best time planning. I'm going to do something I've wanted to do for a really long time and replace my cutting table. My cutting table is an old kitchen table on risers, and I'm going to build a cutting table. I'm going to do one of the Kallax IKEA style cutting tables. So I have everything worked out for that, how big it's going to be, where it's going to go. I've figured out a few furniture shifting things that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to tear a very small wall down too, because I have the weirdest closet in my sewing room. It has a window in it. So my sewing room is in a place in the house where other floor plans in our neighborhood have a loft there. And so they built in across the window that would normally like shine into the stairwell, and that's in the closet. So I'm gonna take out the closet wall. It's a doorway with like maybe 8 inches on either side, so it will open up that closet to basically be a separate room. And that's going to be where my desk and my computer goes, so that my sewing room can be entirely 100% completely for sewing. I realized explaining that to you guys without actually having anything to show is not super exciting, but I promise you that when I start working on this room, that will be my Talk to Me Tuesday until I am done. I've been doing a lot of mending and rearranging and that kind of stuff. Mending's not super exciting to show, it's just stuff that needs to get done. And I think that's pretty much it. These were my big projects. I did bind some other Linus quilts that were not mine, but I'm not going to show those to you guys because, again, they were not mine. They were just things that needed to be bound. And I did some repairs on some things we got donated that I'm sure the person who made them didn't realize there were a couple of holes. So I fixed those up, and those will go back out for Linus. And that's it. That's been pretty much my week. There's been a lot going on in here, and not as much craftiness aside from these guys, which looks really impressive because it's 2 completed quilts, but obviously I didn't do any piecing. So anyway, I'm gonna take a little trip to Lubbock this weekend and see my son. I haven't seen him since June, and I just need to see the kid. So I'm going by myself because my husband is in, I mean, he works full time already, but he's also in school right now. His classes just started last week, and he has lots of homework to do. And we've actually pretty much all of our plans that we might have had for this time of year are tamped down because he is really super duper busy. So yeah, so I'm gonna go see my kiddo, and I will report back on that next week. You guys have a really wonderful week. Have a crafty week. Hug the people you love. Take care, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. It is so noisy out here today. Birds, trucks, airplanes, so noisy.